Country said, I've fallen to the bottom and I'm working my way down, you know. So that was hardcore working man's blues. Hardcore. Loved it. But I wanted an answer to Hank Williams' question. Why does my bucket have a hole in it? Why? So along with our fun and the bar band raucousness, E Street Band carried a search for identity and became a central part of my music. Country by its nature appealed to me. Country was provincial, and so was I. I was not downtown. I wasn't particularly bohemian or hipster. I was kind of hippie by circumstance when it happened, you know. But I felt I was an average guy with a slightly above average gift, and if I worked my ass off on it, and country was about the truth emanating out of your sweat, out of your local bar, your corner store. It held its gaze on yesterday's blues, tonight's pleasures, and maybe on Sunday, the hereafter. And I covered a lot of ground, but there was still something missing. So, somewhere in my late 20s, I picked up Joe Klein's Woody Guthrie Alive. And as I read that book, World of Possibilities, that predated Dylan's, that had inspired him, led to some of his greatest work, opened up for me. Woody's gaze was set on today's hard times, but also somewhere over the horizon, you know, there was something. Woody's world was a world where fatalism was tempered by a practical idealism. It was a world where speaking truth to power wasn't futile, whatever its outcome. You know. Why do we continue to talk about Woody so many years on? Never had a hit, never went platinum, never played in an arena, never had his picture on the cover of Rolling Stone, you know. But he's a ghost in the machine, big, big ghost in the machine. And I believe it's because Woody's songs, his body of work, tried to answer Hank Williams' question, why your bucket has a hole in it. And that's a question that's eaten at me also for a long time. So in my early 30s, his voice spoke to me very, very deeply. And we began to cover This Land Is Your Land in concert. Now, I knew I was never going to be Woody Guthrie. I liked Elvis. I liked the pink Cadillac too much. I liked the simplicity and the tossed-off temporary feeling of pop hits. I liked big fucking noise. And in my own way, I liked the luxuries and the comforts of being a star. I had already gone a long way down a pretty different road. So, 4 years ago, I found myself in an unusual situation. It was a cold winter day. I was standing alongside of Pete Seeger. It was 25 degrees. Pete had come to Washington. Pete carries banjo everywhere he goes, the subway, the bus, and comes out in his shirt. I said, man, Pete, I put on a jacket, man. It's freezing out here. 90 years old. 90 years old. Living embodiment of Woody's legacy. And there were several 100,000 of our fellow citizens in front of us. We had the Lincoln Memorial behind us. And newly elected president to our right. And we were going to sing This Land Is Your Land in front of all these Americans. And Pete insisted, said, no, he says, we have to sing all the verses. We have to sing all the verses, man. We can't leave any of them out. I said, but yeah, the kid, Pete, there's only, we had like a crowd of like 6-year-old school kids behind us. He says, no, we're all going to sing all the verses. All the verses. And so we got to it. As I was walking, I saw a sign there. On that sign said, no trespassing. And on the other side, didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. This song's meant to be sung by everybody. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. So, on that day, Pete, myself, and generations of young and old Americans, all colors, religious beliefs, I realized that sometimes things that come from the outside, they make their way in to become a part of the beating heart of the nation. And on that day, when we sung that song, Americans young and old, black and white, of all religious and political beliefs, were united for a brief moment by Woody's poetry. So perhaps Lester Bangs wasn't completely right, for here we all are tonight in this town together, musicians young and old, celebrating, each perhaps in our own way, a sense of freedom that was Woody's legacy. So, rumble, the young musicians rumble. Open your ears and open your hearts. Don't take yourself too seriously, and take yourself as seriously as death itself. Don't worry. Worry your ass off. Have ironclad confidence, but doubt. It keeps you awake and alert. Believe you are the baddest ass in town. And you suck. It keeps you honest. It keeps you honest. Be able to keep two completely contradictory ideas alive and well inside of your heart and head at all times. If it doesn't drive you crazy, it will make you strong. And stay hard. Stay hungry. And stay alive. And when you walk on stage tonight, to bring the noise, treat it like it's all we have. And then remember, it's only rock and roll. I think I may go out and catch a little Black death metal. Thank you.